You mentioned before about, having kind of strong faith, belief in God, but like the practical outworkings of it were sometimes tricky. Where were the other guys in the band in terms of faith? And did that ever come up as a kind of conversation of your own faith background?
Not really, because as I say, for me, it kind of, at that time, it kind of gone on the back burner. And not for any particular reason. People always ask me, and obviously people who understand about tithing and things like that. Like, I still tithed, but I didn't go to church.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really spend that much time sort of reading, praying, things like that. But as I say, and there was never a doubt about those things, about those powers, about, about God or anything like that. So it was just a case that, I don't know, I think life was just busy, and it was one of those things where you're young. I was only 20, I was 21. You're young, you're ambitious. This is something that you've been dreaming about for however long, and I come from a musical background. Like, I love music. So for me, it was, this is how I see it happening, and we all know that our views are always, one track minded or whatever. Our views are relatively closed until you're able to experience a bigger picture, until you're able to interact with other people. And similarly, I just didn't know anybody sort of on the gospel side of music.
Right,
I didn't know, I didn't have those contacts. This was the way that I knew, and I was just living that. And there were opportunities, because again, all the boys have got ties to Christianity. They've got members of their family who are Christians. Aston's got his grandparents are very much strong Christians. I think they live overseas, so he doesn't necessarily see them that often, but there's definitely that presence there. Marvin's family, half of his family are members of the church, and again, involved in music. He comes from a very musical family,
right.
A lot of them play in bands and stuff like that. Play with,
So like, looking back on that, do you kind of wish that there was maybe someone a bit closer to you, could have kind of spoken to your life a bit and helped you in figuring some of that out?
Not necessarily. I believe in that things happen for a reason, and I believe that there's a purpose for us doing what we were doing, and for me being a part of that group, and doing what I was doing as part of JLS. And more so now, we'll talk about the transitions in a minute, but especially now when I think about what I'm trying to do, and I remember when I first made the decision to go into farming, it was very much a case of I want to step back from music, and I don't I want to make this change, and that's that, and this is now. But actually, I've come to the realization now that my life is a continuing journey. Do you know what I mean? It's not that ended and this has begun and that's whatever. I can use all of it in order to go forward. And so for me, it's less compartmentalizing, which is what we're taught to do, I guess, through society, and actually being more inclusive. So my what I'm doing now is as important as what I was doing then. I can use what I was doing then in order to boost what I'm doing now. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. It's really a complete journey, and should be a part of my life. And it's similar to our attitudes to God. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people, God is kind of reserved for a day, or faith is reserved for a time, or for a special occasion often, or whatever it might be. But actually, our faith should be with us all the time.